This is the first time in days that I've actually gotten dressed and put on makeup, so I already feel accomplished. I'm going back to bed after this. After Disney's death in 1966 until at least 1987, the company began a slow decline. Before he passed away, Walt decided to expand his theme park empire and lay the groundwork for the Florida Project, a code name for Walt Disney World. In 1967, construction began. In 1971, the Magic Kingdom opens as the first park at the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida. Just 3 months after the park opened, Roy Disney, Walt's brother, passes away. In the 1970s, although Disney's animated films such as Robin Hood and The Rescuers were successes, the studio lost its way with its live-action releases. The films Bedknobs and Broomsticks, One of Our Dinosaurs is Missing, and The Black Hole were box office disappointments. By the end of the 70s, Disney wanted to make a fresh approach to movie making, resulting in a string of films that were, by the studio standards, unusually dark. By 1982, the Coca-Cola Company tried unsuccessfully to buy out and take over Disney. Walt's son-in-law, Ron W. Miller, succeeds Card Walker as CEO, and the experimental prototype community of tomorrow, Epcot for short, opens in Walt Disney World Resort. The next year, the Disney Channel begins production, and Tokyo Disneyland opens in Japan. In 1984, after another buyout attempt by Saul Steinberg, Roy E. Disney, Walt's nephew, and his business partner Stanley Gold managed to remove Ron W. Miller as CEO and president, replacing him with Michael Eisner of Paramount Pictures. Touchstone Films is created to produce films aimed at more mature audiences, and Splash becomes the first Touchstone Films release. In 1985, Touchstone Television is founded and becomes the producer of The Golden Girls, Home Improvement, and Boy Meets World. In 1987, Disney signs an agreement with the French government for the creation of the first Disney resort in Europe. A year later, Walt Disney Computer Software is founded as a video game division of the Walt Disney Company. In 1989, Disney and Jim Henson discussed the company's possible acquisition of Jim Henson Productions, including The Muppets. That same year, The Little Mermaid premieres and begins Disney's Renaissance period. In 1991, Beauty and the Beast is released and becomes the first animated feature film to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture. A few years later, in 1994, Beauty and the Beast becomes the first Disney animated film to be made into a Broadway musical. And in 1992, Euro Disney opens outside of Paris. In 1993, Disney acquired the independent film distributor Miramax Films. The next year, Disney announces its plans to purchase Capital Cities/ABC Incorporated, including ABC stakes in A&E Television Networks, ESPN, and DIC Productions LP. In 1997, Disney enters a 10-year distribution partnership with Pixar Animation Studios. And Disney takes control of the Major League Baseball team, the California Angels, renaming them the Anaheim Angels to draw more tourism to Anaheim. A year later, Disney and the Hong Kong government announce a new resort in Hong Kong, Disney's cruise line sets sail with its first ship, and the Animal Kingdom opens. In 2000, Roger Iger becomes president, succeeding Michael Ovitz, who left in 1996. In 2001, Disney buys Fox Family Network for $3 billion and changes its name to ABC Family. In 2002, Disney gets into video gaming with Kingdom Hearts, after teaming up with a video game company. In 2003, talks to extend Pixar's distribution agreement break down, and Pixar winds up seeking a new distribution partner. Disney sells its Anaheim Angels to billboard mogul Arturo Moreno, and Disney releases its first non-Touchstone, non-Miramax, non-Hollywood, PG-13 film under the Walt Disney Pictures label, Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl. In 2004, Comcast makes a hostile, unsuccessful $54.1 billion bid in stock for the company. That same year, Eisner is replaced by George J. Mitchell after a 43% vote of no confidence. Disney also purchases The Muppets and The Bear in the Big Blue House franchises from the Jim Henson Company for $75 million. And that same year, Disney releases its last 2D animated feature film, Home on the Range. A year later, Roger Iger becomes CEO and focuses on core assets, including repairing the Disney-Pixar relationship, and Disneyland in Hong Kong opens. In 2006, Disney purchases Pixar Animation Studios for a small sum of $7 billion. A year later, in 2007, Disney makes some more changes. It acquires New Horizon Interactive, and its ABC radio networks and 22 non-radio Disney and ESPN radio affiliates are sold to Citadel Broadcasting. And Disney changes the name of the Buena Vista Pictures distribution to Walt Disney Motion Pictures. That was a lot. In 2008, the subscription service Disney Family Movies is launched. In 2009, Walt Disney Studios enters a distribution deal with DreamWorks Pictures, where DreamWorks films will be distributed by Touchstone Pictures. Disney also starts D23, its official fan community, and on the last day of that year, Disney acquires Marvel Entertainment. In 2010, Disney sells off assets including the Power Rangers franchise for $100 million and sells Miramax Films to Film Yard Holdings for $66 million. In 2011, Disney licenses theme park rights to the Avatar franchise from James Cameron and Lightstorm Entertainment, and announces its first Avatar-themed project at Animal Kingdom and Walt Disney World. In 2012, Disney acquires Lucasfilm from George Lucas, including Star Wars and Indiana Jones properties, for $4 billion. That same year, Disney releases its first Marvel film to be distributed by Disney, The Avengers. And a year later, in 2013, Disney releases Frozen, and it becomes the highest-grossing animated feature film. In 2014, Disney acquired Maker Studios for $500 million. A year later, in 2015, Disney's Marvel Studios and Sony announced a partnership to bring Spider-Man into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And at the end of that year, Disney releases Star Wars: The Force Awakens, the first Star Wars movie to be distributed by Disney. In 2016, Shanghai Disneyland opens, ABC Family changes its name to Freeform, and DreamWorks Pictures ends its distribution deal with Disney. In 2017, Disney proposes to end its existing deal with Netflix, with plans to launch its own streaming subscription service. In 2019, Disney acquires 21st Century Fox Entertainment and cable television groups. And Disney Plus launches in November of 2019, and as of today has 28.6 million users. I know that was a lot to take in, but it really puts into perspective how Disney became this massive company that it is today. Alright guys, that was part 2 of my Disney videos, and I really hope you enjoyed them. And if you did, please hit that like button, that would be amazing. And if you really like my content and you want to see more, please hit that subscribe button. And if you have any comments or questions or topics that you'd want me to research and make a video on, please let me know in the comments. And like I said in the previous video guys, stay safe, watch some Netflix, just keep your mind busy so it won't be so boring and depressing. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!